Okay, Nick, tell me all about your podcast, please.
Okay, our new podcast is myself and Angela Hartnett, who is quite legendary in the food game. And I was a really big fan of hers. I'd met her once before, and I was a fan of her food and then just a fan of her because she's character, isn't she? She's good. So when they asked about if I'd be interested, I sort of snatched the hand off. I was very interested. So yeah, it's me and Angela having a dinner party. Angela cooks, and you can cook along, and she sort of, at the start, there's quite a condensed introduction to the meal and how to make the meal. And it's full of it's not like the whole podcast, not the cooking, but it'll have those take home, easy, chefy tip things, which I didn't know. And I cook a lot. I'm by no means a chef, but I do cook a lot. So we do that. And then I make a cocktail and we welcome some guests, and we basically sit down, eat the food, drink the drink, and shoot the shit. And it's been so fun working with Angela because she's, yes, an amazing chef and got, an OBE and an MBE and Michelin stars. But the main thing is she's just a laugh. She's funny, and she's got no airs and graces either. So it's a really fun, easy chat with the guests. And she, is happily take the piss out of them, take the piss out of me herself. And it's been so fun. So we've done a few already. We've done the cast of Ted Lasso, which came out today.
Oh, okay. So he launched today. So who did you have from Ted Lasso?
So we had Hannah Waddingham, who plays Rebecca, and we also had Phil Dunster, who plays Jamie Tartt. So they were quite good. So the boss and one of the footballers. And when I first met Angela, we were saying who we wanted on, and her dream people to have on was the cast of Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
She was obsessed with having them on. And then on the day, I didn't really realize how much she actually did like them, because she was it was like when a kid met Justin Bieber. She was bright red, giggling, all nervous. And then Hannah Waddingham, her husband or her boyfriend, I'm not sure, I think it's her husband, he's a really good cook and a proper foodie, and he is obsessed with Angela Hartnett. So it was quite a great first meeting, because Hannah was obsessed with Angela and Angela was obsessed with Hannah. So quite a good, they both were big fans of one another. But it was really fun, and we ate a really nice meal, and Angela did them the meals that's looks really simple. And Hannah said it herself in this, if I put these things in a pan, it wouldn't taste like this.
Love it. So how did you the pair of you work out the concept for the podcast itself?
Well, she loves a chat. She's a natural chatter. She's quite straight up as well, which I really, really liked. So when we were having meetings, we just thought, well, let's just ask what we actually want to ask, and not have too many devices. And there's no games or anything like that. I have a terrible attention span. So I was I don't think this needs to be an hour. I think we do half an hour, 40 minutes. And that's my podcast sort of limit personally. So we didn't really, aside from knowing what we were going to cook and doing some research on the guests and trying to think of great questions and things that we'd like to learn from them, or we could let people know about them. We didn't really have too many structural ideas apart from just a great conversation. I just wanted to hear something that when I'm cooking at home, I can listen to it, because that's the only time I really listen to a podcast. Or in the car I do, but in the car I kind of want to pretend to be a pop star and listen to music. So yeah, so I was sort of imagining what I'd want to hear when I was cooking, and Angela the same, because that's what she does.
Wonderful. Well, Nick, obviously your background is radio and television. Why the step into podcasting, and what do you like about podcasting that you maybe didn't get from radio or TV?
I really like the setting of this one. I like that it's not in a studio, and that it's in these sort of TV studios where they record cookery shows. So there's a kitchen and a dining room. So we get to go, and it doesn't feel like we're in a radio studio. And I think that as much as I love radio, sometimes people come in and they're like, bit nervous, or they're like, oh, it's Radio 1. So they're a bit like stiff at first. So it's quite nice to do a podcast in this relaxed environment around a table, and they're sort of handed a glass of wine as soon as they get there, and we all sit, around a round table and can have a chat. So it's a really nice way to have a long form conversation that doesn't feel like an interview. Really, it feels more just like you are gate crashing a dinner. But yeah, what made me, I don't know, I've been asked to do other things, and I'd thought about other podcasts, but I really like this one because it just felt like a natural fit. Like, I love Angela, I love cooking, I love talking about food, I love trying food, I love like learning about food and wine as well. And I just thought it was the three things I was kind of good at, like eating, drinking, and chatting shit.
Has there been anything that you found annoying as a podcast listener and then understood when you've been a podcast creator?
Have I? Well, because I came from radio, I'm really funny about sound quality, which I didn't think I was. So when I hear things on a podcast, I'm like, that sounds like they're not speaking in the mic properly. But then actually, you're not. So I actually quite like that now. It makes me feel like I quite like that DIY element of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like, hi, I'm on the radio. Impression, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And moving forward, who else can we expect to hear on forthcoming episodes?
We have Rylan coming on, who I love. I'm very obsessed with Rylan and desperate to have dinner with him. Catherine Ryan is coming on. We have Mabel. We have James May. This great comedian called Sindhu V. So it's a real mixture of people coming on.
And plans moving forwards with the podcasting. Is live shows something you've considered? Because we're seeing so many podcasts then sort of take it to podcast festivals, and obviously there's a multitude of different kind of food festivals and things like that. Would it translate to that? Would that work?
I mean, yeah, I'd love to do like a massive dinner party. Get like, I don't know if there's a way of making that happen, but yeah, I'd love to do something live. I think it would definitely work. It feels like me and the team and Angela like really wanted it to feel quite lively in there. So like I was up for like the crew, because it's all filmed as well, so it's all visualized. So I was quite up for like the cameraman like asking a question or trying a bit of the pasta or having a glass of wine. Like, I like that feel, and that's what I love about radio, is that it feels, all inclusive. And I, on my radio shows, always liked it if a producer chipped in or told me to shut up if I was saying something stupid. So we've tried to do that. Well, we have done that on the podcast. So I think that lends well to a live audience, that people can just chip in and feel part of it.
Lovely. You mentioned that it was filmed as well. So is it going to be on YouTube as well as sort of podcast platforms?
I don't know if it's going to be on YouTube, is it? I don't know. I don't know if it's just like clips. I don't know if we have 5 minutes that go out on like Instagram and Twitter.
Sure.
But, I mean, I don't think, is it all filmed? Does anyone know?
We'll have to wait and see. All right, lovely. But, Nick, the podcast is going to be available in all places where you can get your podcast, I imagine.
It is. It's available now, anywhere, wherever you get your podcasts. Yeah, go and go have a listen.
Wonderful. Nick, it's been absolutely lovely. Thanks so much for
your time. Thank you so much, Stu.
And best of luck with the podcast.
Thank you so much. Then come around for dinner when I learn to cook off Angela.
Let's do it. Lovely.